So back when Splatoon 2 came out, I made a video talking about how the Octobrush had changed between the games, going over the changes in damage, pain, and quality of life changes it got. So it was obvious that I'd do it here. Today, I'll be talking about the differences the Octobrush has in Splatoon 3, and if you do like what you see, be sure to subscribe for more stuff in the future. So let's just get right into it. When the test fire came out and we were able to just walk around and do nothing, data miners were hard at work getting some of the information we couldn't. Lean, someone who's well known for being the guy who made Splat Hacks, had put up some of the internal parameters for weapons on his website, and I spent a good bit of time looking these over since I couldn't actually play the game myself. And just by looking at them, it appeared the Octobrush hadn't changed at all. Despite the list of parameters being longer in Splatoon 3 than 2, pretty much all of it is the exact same, just with different names in some regards. There are some debate on if the Octobrush had moved into the lightweight category, meaning it'd get a free swim speed buff, but unfortunately that was not the case. All of the weapon stats remain the same. There's the same damage, the same ink efficiency, the whole 9 yards are the same. So you may be wondering, well then why make this video? Well, it's because it's more than just stats. In my previous video, I also discussed quality of life changes, stuff like the brushes finally being able to attack on tower. There's more than just stats that affect how playable a weapon is, and Splatoon 3 does feature some changes that do affect the Octobrush in terms of playability, and it all revolves around the changes made to the game flow. When you spawn, once you shoot out onto the map, if you hold ZR, you begin to roll instantly as you land. This is good for both brushes actually. It allows for a much faster approach to mid if you start out rolling as opposed to landing, then having to flick into a roll. Squid Roll and Squid Surge do also impact Octobrush. Approaching enemies and having to back up from them has always been a pain point for the brushes. Both of them require a lot when it comes to fighting. You really have to all in when you engage with an enemy, so when the fight is looking to no longer go your way, escaping has always been tough. But thanks to Squid Rolls, however, now it is a lot easier to retreat when you realize the situation is looking dire. Now I realize this isn't exclusive to brushes, but as a class that has to hug to fight, being able to escape and retreat quickly does have a lot of merit. Squid Surge also has a lot of use cases, as brushes love to sit in areas that are small and confined. If you take an area like Scorched Gorge, where there's the tower in the middle, you can just charge up a Surge, blast up, then flick down rain upon enemies while they all scramble to run. This is more impactful on brushes as opposed to like the rollers, since the ink from the brushes is more vast, comes out faster, meaning you're overall outputting more damage across a small area. Even if the enemies drop from the tower, because your ink continues to fall with them, they'll likely still be in damage as they run, and may even just die to the ink as well. There are also other changes that help the Octobrush, like ink armor no longer existing. While I've always stated the brushes didn't struggle against ink armor, it did impact their ability to fight specific weapons. High fire rate weapons would still dunk on any brush if they had armor. The speed at which they're able to shoot you would always outpace the rate of your swing and damage, since they could always tank one hit. Brushes are good at killing because they're quick, cause chaos, and then can run. When something is too fast for them, it instantly becomes the worst thing to deal with. Now that ink armor is gone, no more will brush players have to fear approaching certain enemies out of fear that their speed is no match for their armor's existence. Now it might be a little disappointing to hear that the weapon hadn't really changed much like it did in Splatoon 2, but honestly it didn't even really need it. The brush class in general has always held their own against most weapons in the game, and they perform well in just about every category, so expect them to be buffed a lot seems a little much. As the current landscape of Splatoon 3 feels, the brushes are still fine and don't need much in the realm of buffs or nerfs. Practically every weapon is one-to-one with their Splatoon 2 counterpart, meaning that all that has really changed is the kits, the specials, and the maps you play on. I don't mind this personally, the weapons are fine and that's all I could really hope for. At least our weapon class isn't constantly struggling to exist, so with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.